Let's see if we can do this here. All right, for starters, we're gonna take this apart, and you have to look at the end of this thing here. You see where the arrow is pointing to the lock? We gotta twist it towards unlock. So I hold it on here, push in. Let me see if I find it here. Yep. Push in and twist, and it just comes apart. Step one. So I'm gonna pop this out of there. And we're gonna unroll one of your cords, which I already did, one of your respoolers, and we're gonna thread it through the hole in here. Right? If I can just, there we go. Then I'm gonna pull it even. So I'm gonna just let it drop, and I'm gonna keep on while holding one end, look for the other end. Should be about 12 or 14 feet like on the video. Put them together, and I'm gonna start making it the same length. That part that I threaded on there is falling down, right? Right here. So far so good. Now I'm gonna take this part, and before I stick it back in here, I'm gonna take one end of the cord. Let's see if I can do this. There you go. Here's one end of the cord coming out of that, right? Out of here. And I'm gonna stick that through one end of here, right? Then I'm gonna hold them both in one hand, and I'm gonna do the same with the other side. So the other side, and if you look, I'm sticking it in there and pulling it out. I'm gonna pull all the excess out. Try to anyway. Now if you see where I am here, I've got one, each end going through a hole from the inside. And then the trick, like on the other video I sent you, is just to pull the excess before I let it go all the way down. And watch, this little sucker will just drop right in there. So now if you look, I'm just turning it so that it's lined up like this. See so far? This is a good time, like he says in the video, to make sure it's even, because you can kind of make it fall out of evenness there. That was pretty close. That's good enough. So I'm gonna go back to the other end. I'm gonna lift this up. And now what I want to do is grab this little guy again. And if you look, I got those arrows again. I'm going to press that spring to that spot in the center just to generally line it up. And then I'm going to find the unlock versus the lock. So I'm pushing these two arrows together, and I'm going to twist it towards the lock. So far, we got this big long craziness right there. Now, if you look at the end of this, do you see that arrow? I'm gonna start twisting this while holding the box, and it's just gonna wind it up. Now, if you have that tool, it's a little bit easier, but this isn't very hard. We're just gonna twist it until that string is as short as you want it. If you look, it's getting quite a bit shorter. Almost there. Okay, so it's still a little long. I'm gonna go a little bit more. That's perfect. Now you see how it's about the same? But that's all you're gonna do. So that's how you do it. That other thing I showed you with that little gap in here and how to take this off, you don't need to use that unless you need to replace this whole unit. So ignore that part. The part where you're redoing the thread on here, you're just literally going to unscrew it. See if I turn it the right way. Of course, I show you how to do it. I guess it's harder to do when it's full of line. Anyway, I'm gonna do it on the other one on another video just to show you, but I won't I won't do as much talking, I hope. But anyway, I'll show you.